everybody, it's Holly, and thank you for joining me today on Smile by Holly. So I had showed you this cute little mini album with its holder a couple weeks ago, and today we are going to be doing a tutorial on how to make the holder and the mini album. And this mini album, it's tiny. It is just 3 by 4, and I think that's kind of one of the things that makes it so cute, is it's just tiny. It's tiny, tiny, tiny. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started. Real quick, today I am using the kit from Nitwit. It's called Egg-stra Special. And it has really pretty greens and yellows and oranges, pinks, so fun for spring. So that's what we're going to be using today. And I will leave the link down below if you would like to go in and check out this kit. It is totally extra special. Okay, let's get started. What you are going to need first, and this is going to be the base for our little tiny book. Okay, we're making the outside little case. And you want 2 pieces that are 6 3/4 by 4 1/2. 2 pieces, 6 3/4 by 4 1/2. Now let's go ahead and bring our scoreboard in. You are going to score both of these slightly different. So let's just start out with one of them. One key thing too is you want to start out scoring on the long side, and I will show you why in just a minute. So we've got our paper cut. Go ahead and we want to score it on the 6 3/4 inch side at 1 3/8, at 5 3/8, and at 5 3/4. Okay, now go ahead and flip it to the short side, which is the 4 1/2 inch side, and you want to score it at 1 3/8. And then this is why we did the long side first. This next score, we're only going to go up to this second score line, and then over here, from here up to the second score line, and you'll be able to see when I do this. So for this score, we're going to go to 3 3/4 and just go down to that line. Can you see that? We just did it down to that line. The easiest way is just flip your paper over and go 3 3/4 just down to that line. Okay, does that make sense? So there is our first paper. Now bring in your second one. The measurements are slightly different on this one. So not the measurements for the paper, but the score lines. Okay, so on the long side, you want to score it at 3/4, at 1 3/8, at 5 3/8, and at 6. Okay. Remember, we started out on the long side. Now turn it to the short side, and we are going to kind of do a similar thing. So it's on the 4 1/2 inch side. You want to score it at 1 3/8, and then this next one is just going to be another half score, and this is at 3 3/4. You just want to score up to that second line. So I stopped right there. Let me flip it over and just go down to 3 3/4. So let's go ahead and put our scoreboard away, and we're going to cut the base. Now I went ahead and I already have cut mine out of the paper I'm going to use. You could make your base just out of white and then cover it with cute paper, or you can just cut it out of your paper. Now I'm going to use these to just kind of show you what we're going after. Okay, so take the one that we scored first, and if you'll notice, the score lines, these 2 score lines, 1 and 2, are closer together than the second one that we scored. Okay, so take the one that has the 2 closer score lines and bring in your scissors, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to cut out this box here. There's a tiny rectangle box and then a bigger rectangle box, and we are going to cut that out. So out, and then out, and so it's just like that. See how I cut through that one and then that one? So we're going to do that on this side now. that out. How are you guys today? I hope you're having a fun day. I'm in just such a super good mood. I don't even know why, but it's a good day to have a good day. Okay, so now for the bottom two corners, what we are going to do is we are going to just cut up on this very first line. Okay, cut up to the score line and then cut that box out. Okay, so that is leaving this little teeny tiny rectangle right there. We are just going to cut up, and that is going to be our flap. Do you see that? Okay, so let's do it over here. You can cut all the way up through that, okay? But we're only going to cut out the first rectangle because this is going to be our flap to hold our box together. Okay, so that is the first one. Let's go ahead and do our second page. So here is our second one, and these had the score marks a little bit wider than the other ones. So go ahead, and with the one where you just did the slight score mark, we are going to cut that out. Okay, so this is where you just did like the half score mark up into the line. So go ahead and cut those two boxes out. There's two little boxes in both corners. Okay, so that is what we're looking like. Okay, now we're going to be doing this part right here. So what you want to do is you want to cut up, and these are longer squares, and then cut over. Okay, so cut up and then cut over. So basically we're just cutting out the corner parts. Okay, I am just going to take a little smidgen off right here, just a tiny little triangle. This will help our box fold a little bit better. So it's kind of like giving your paper a haircut. Okay, let's go ahead and put our box together. I'll do it with the paper that I'm using. Once again, you can do it either way. You could use the white cardstock and then cover it, or just use your base paper. So I'm going to bring in my two pieces, and I'm just going to use my bone folder, and on those score lines, go ahead and fold those. Okay, give it a good crease. I had somebody comment the other day, and they said, why do you go so slow in your crafting? And so I apologize if I take a lot of time to really explain it. I would just hate the fact that if we were going through the process and you got mixed up. So yeah, I do take a little bit more time and kind of help explain things, probably more than I need to, but it's just more that I want to make sure that that I don't lose you. Does that make sense? Sometimes I'm not sure if my instructions are super, super good. Okay, so I'm just going to put, these were those little tabs. Okay, I'm just putting glue on those. And we're going to fold that tab up, and this is going to make part of the box. You see how I'm just folding that up? This paper is adorable. It's extra cute. Okay. Now, I did forget to mention is I went ahead and I used my corner chomper, and I chomped just the two outside corners because I thought the rounded look was extra cute. But you could certainly leave it square if you wanted, and I apologize for not mentioning that. But I did round the two corners for my outer box. Now, go ahead and take this, and this is just going to fit right inside. You see how that fits in there just perfectly? And then that will fold up. So I'm going to put glue on all my tabs. Now, if you used double-sided paper, the inside of your box would be cute. And I probably should have done that. That would have made it super cute. But my box is just going to be white. So I've got glue on all the tabs, and I'm just going to fit that bottom tab in on the bottom, and then glue the edges. See how it just fits in there just nicely. I'm gonna hold it for just a minute. Come over to this side. And then I am going to just take my bone folder and kind of push down in there. Okay, so there is the outside of our cute little holder. Okay, so now we're going to make the binding, okay? And you're going to need 6 papers. So the first paper, and I've cut mine down just to save time, but they're all going to be 4 inches long. So 4 inches long, it's just slightly different the width. So the first one is 4 inches long by 1 3/4. Okay, the second one is going to be 4 inches long by 1 1/2. The third one is going to be 4 inches long by 1 1/4. Do you see how we're just slowly inching down and it's getting smaller and smaller? The fourth one, 4 inches long by 1 1/8. The fifth one, 4 inches long by 7/8, 7/8. And then our last one is just tiny. It's 4 inches long by 3/8 of an inch. Okay, now bring in your scoreboard and I will show you where we are going to score these. And these are all different measurements. So if you do it with me, I think that would probably help. So take your biggest piece and we are going to score it at 1/4 of an inch and at 1 1/2. Okay, now take your second one. Like I say, we're just inching down, getting smaller. This is the one that was 1 1/2 by 4, and you want to score it at 1/4. They're all scored at 1/4, and then it's just the other measurement that's slightly different. And then this one is at 1 1/4. Okay, we're on our third piece. And this is the piece that was 1 1/4 by 4. And you want to score it at 1/4 and then at 1. Oops. And then at 1. Okay, on to our fourth one. This is the one that is 1 1/8 by 4. And we want to score it at 1/4. And at 7/8. Okay, 2 more to go. They're just getting smaller and smaller. Now this one is at 7/8 by 4, and you want to score it at 1/4, and it's kind of getting tight here. So it's getting a little bit tight, but at 1/4, and then at 5/8 of an inch. 5/8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5/8. Okay, and then our last one, it's so tiny. This is the one that's 3/8 of an inch by 4, and you want to score it at 1 1/4. It's really tight, guys. 1 1/4, and at 3/8. Okay, bring in all your pieces that are scored. We'll start with the biggest one, and let's just go ahead and fold on our score lines. Make it those nice and crisp. So I had a scary thing that happened today. I was getting ready to come down and craft, and I couldn't find my dog. And he's a big dog. He's a Newfoundland. He's 150 pounds, but he's still a puppy. So he's very rambunctious still, and he can be kind of frightening if you were to run into him, even though he's as gentle as a mouse. But I think it's just his sheer size. He wasn't in the backyard. I literally freaked out. I mean, anyway, so I went running out the front, and he was sitting there on the front porch. So he had gotten outside of our fence. And so after I get done crafting today, guess what I'm doing? We are fixing the fence. Fortunately, it's a nice enough day that it'll kind of feel good to go out and get some vitamin, is it vitamin D or vitamin C? I think it's vitamin D, all that good sunshine. And hopefully we can make the holes disappear that he had dug. Okay, so we've got everything scored, and if you can see, These just have a tiny little base on those, on the bottom. See that tiny little bottom, and it just kind of goes up and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Okay, so now we are going to layer these on one another, and I like to start with the first big piece. Flip it over, and we're going to take the second piece and just glue on the bottom. And make sure you glue these down good. I know that's like duh, but you don't want your pages to come out. And I'm going to line this up so it's in the middle of this. So it's leaving a little bit on each side, and then making sure that this is centered. Does that kind of make sense? So let me open that up. There's a tiny little bit right here and a tiny little bit right here. And we're just centering this piece on top. Okay, so now take your third page and we'll add some glue. And this will be centered onto this second page. Once again, there's a little bit of space on each side. So kind of make sure it's centered, and then that there's a little space. Do you see that right there? Okay, now onto this piece. When you get done, you'll go, oh my gosh, that was so fun. I think this little binding is adorable. Okay, right in the middle. And make sure as you're doing this, you're lining these up. Sometimes you might want to stand it up to make sure that it is, you know, exactly equal on these two sides too. Okay, so, and just take your time, do a little bit at a time to make sure this gets lined up correctly, because this is going to be how your pages line up. So if this is crooked, your pages are going to be crooked. And that's kind of, I like to use wet glue for this because you have wiggle room to kind of get it in there before it gets nice and set. Okay, two more pieces. A little bit of glue here. These are tiny pieces to work with too. Okay, so I'm just getting that centered. And then I like to kind of lift it up and make sure that it does look lined up. Yeah, before I push it down. And then our last piece. Now that is just a tiny little strip that we're going to be gluing on. Okay. And I'm just kind of looking on both sides that it has a little bit on both. This is a little bit harder because it is so tiny, but we will get it. Okay, so there you have it. Can you kind of see from the top? So for our pages, you are going to want 12 base pages, and these are 3x4, hence a 3x4 mini album. So 12 pages that are 3x4, and then what I've done is I've gone ahead and then rounded my corners because I thought it gave the album just kind of a cute look. So just on the outside corners, I have rounded those. Okay, now for the papers that are going to go on top and on the back of this, because this is just our base, you will need 24. So I've gone ahead and I've already cut mine out. Just 24 papers that are going to go on like the front of your base and then the back. And you don't want to glue those on right now because by putting the paper on after we do the binding, it's going to cover up the little strip of the binding. So you don't add your pattern paper on until the very end. So let's go ahead. You've got your 12 base papers, and I'm just using white. So now you can either put glue on this tab or on the bottom of one of your base pieces. And I found it kind of easier just to put it on my base, but either way is fine. And then you are just going to line that up And this is where just take a little bit of extra time, stand up your little binding and make sure that everything is lining up on these edges. After you get the first page on, you'll be lining up all of the pages to each other. So it does make it a little bit easier once that first one's on. And so you're just making sure that that is nice and even all the way around. Okay, so that was our first one. Now, the reason you don't put your pattern paper on until after, because this page is going to actually go on top and cover up that piece. Okay, so that was the first one, and that's going to be actually our outside cover. So push that down. Now we're going to do our second one, and it's not on the back of this tab. It's on a brand new little tabby. Does that make sense? Don't put them back to back or your album will stick together. Okay, a little bit of glue. We're going to take our second little binding piece, and this is where I like to take both my pages, stand them up together, line them up. That will help to keep your album lined up the whole way through. So page 1, page 2, let's go ahead and take our next one. And you know, once you have this down, you could make this album for any occasion, which is so cute. Okay, now we're on our third little piece right here. And we're just going to put it on the front side of that. And once again, bring in all of your pieces. I bring them all up together. Make sure that's lining up. And it is. Okay, now you can get kind of an idea of how your little book is coming. I love mini albums. They do take a little bit more time, but I think they are so worth the extra time that they take to make them. What do you guys think? I guess you could kind of say I'm a little obsessed with mini albums. Love, love, love them. And working with Nitwits, all of their paper coordinates and their embellishments and everything is so adorable. I think I even love mini albums more when I use their kits because it just coordinates so nicely. Okay, so there we go. We're just moving right along. A little bit of glue. What are you guys up to today? What are you making? Put in the comments. I would love to know. I now have a Facebook group. It's called Smile by Holly. And it's a wonderful place where everyone can go in and post, you know, all of the fun things that they're making. And I encourage you to do that because I want to see what you're making. I want to see all the fun crafts. And if you make one of these mini albums, please go in and join and post your cute little mini album. Okay, so it's coming together. Once again, I'm just making sure those are even, nice and slow. Okay, we are about halfway through. You know, it's funny because I get on to do my videos and one of my favorite things, this sounds so funny, but I like to talk about the weather because I'm one of those people that's really influenced by weather and sunshine. I do like rainy days, but it lifts my spirit when it's sunny. And with it being March, it's like, oh my gosh, you can just feel that hint of spring. So I do talk about the weather a lot. Oh, that's funny. That's funny. Okay, 4 more pages to go. And 3, 2, 1. So I have a story. Not a story, it's kind of more of a confession. I kind of feel embarrassed to say it, but now that we are in March, Peeps are out. You know those marshmallow Peeps? And I'm going to just admit it that I am addicted to Peeps. I love the Peeps. Well, I like the bunnies. I know they all taste the same, but I'm very picky about my Peeps, and I like the yellow and the pink bunnies. And so much so that I bought 8 packages yesterday. I'm like, oh, that will take me for a little bit. And I ate all, okay, don't tell anybody this, but I ate all 8 packages. Can I just tell you there's 8 Peeps in a package? So I had 64 marshmallow Peeps. And I was on such a sugar high. It was kind of funny. You had so much sugar going through my veins. Anyway, I love Peeps. And I'll tell you a secret. If you do like them, this is what my friend and I do, is you make a hole in like the top of the package just so air can get in. And then you leave them overnight, and the next morning they're a little bit kind of stale. It might sound gross, but it makes them a little bit like kind of crusty, crunchy, and that's how we like them. It's so funny. And another thing, I'm almost done, and then I'll kind of be quiet, but the day after Easter, I like to go to Walmart because they put their candy on, their holiday candy on 50% off. And I buy like 20 or 30 packages because I take them when we go camping. I love to roast marshmallow Peeps. They're just better than marshmallows. And look, I'm talking and I didn't get that on exactly right. I can't do 2 things at once. But anyway, we take them camping all the time. My husband hates them, so that means they're all for me, and I love them. But there's just something good about roasting marshmallow Peeps. So I buy enough for almost the whole summer. Okay, so look at that. Oh my goodness, it is adorable. And just once again, by taking a little bit of time, you know that your book and your pages are going to stay together. Now you'll want to take your pieces, and once again, there's 24 pieces that you'll want to cover your pages, and decide which one you want for your front cover. And then when you put the second page on, do you see it's going to cover up that tab right there? It's just going to cover it up to make your album nice and finished. I think I'm going to put this striped piece on the front, and we still need to cut this piece, but we will do that at the end. Okay, so now let's go ahead and let's add all of our pattern papers. And this is another time when you kind of need to take your time to make sure that the papers all line up exactly. So I think a key is to stand your album up. Once again, I've cut all mine with a rounded edge, so you can flip it over on the back and make sure that nothing is showing. You also want to make sure that it lines up right here, nice and good on the edge of the spine. Okay, and this is just going to take a minute. We'll go ahead and add all of our pages. And once again, now the second page, it's going to just cover up that little tab. So that's why we wait to put the pattern pieces on once the base of the album is made. Now here, you want to make sure that all of these are lining up together. So I like to look at it at the front, and I like to look at it on the back. And once again, wet glue helps kind of move it around. Okay, I am just going to put this in fast forward and go ahead and glue all my pages down, and then we will come back and we can do the fun part, the decorating. So now we are ready to do the fun part, and I truly, truly, truly love decorating, especially with all of the elements that you get when you purchase Nitwit kits. They're just so cute. Anyway, so I've gone ahead, I've cut out a whole bunch of fun things, and let's go ahead and just decorate. Now there still is this part that you will want to cover. And this piece is, let me grab my measurements. This piece is 1 1/4 by 4, 1 1/4 by 4. And this is called a paint chip, which comes included in their little element kit. So I thought that would be so perfect. I sized it down so it would just fit great right there. So 1 1/4 by 4 for the outside cover of your album. It says, "You are some bunny special." Oh, I love it. Okay. Let that dry for a minute. Let's work on our outside cover. You know, what I love to do is I love to take Nitwit elements and layer them. I think they turn out so cute. So I just printed this bunny out 4 different times. And now we are just going to layer him to give the outside cover a little dimension. See how I did that with this cute little skunk? So, and to save time, I've gone ahead and I've put the pop-up dots on. And you can just kind of watch how I layer this. I've said this before, the thing that takes the most time is trying to get the backs of the sticky tape off. Okay, so there is our layer 2 of Mr. Bunny. And there's no right or wrong way. I just then cut the bottom part of this little guy off. You just slowly, as you're layering your elements, you just slowly, they slowly get smaller and smaller. But it also, the dimension builds. So we've got part of the bunny there. One thing that helps is to get above your elements just so you can make sure they're lining up. Okay, and you could keep going. You could layer the carrot and keep going, but that is 4 layers right there, and I think it just looks cute on the outside of this. I'm going to get my glue gun ready because we're going to want to put a bow, right? Okay, let's go ahead and decorate our album. For our album, the actual album, I also wanted to do a little bit of decoupage and make it a little bit layered. So let's put our bottom piece on. Now you could even lift the bottom piece up. I think that's what we'll do. We'll put some dimension tape on here. This is so cute. Enjoy the egg hunt. Oh my gosh. I get so tickled when I play with these Nitwit kits because they are all just over the top adorable. And it just makes me happy inside. Okay, so we're going to put this on the front. Now, the flowers stick out a little bit from the edge, and that might make it harder. Nope, it fits perfect. Just keep that in mind, that if you have things that are coming up and out over the edge, it might not fit into your little album, but I think that will be fine. And I've just layered these eggs, and then we'll layer some flowers on top. Oh yeah, that gives it just nice dimension, and that is 3 layers right there. So cute. Okay, so as you're making cute things to put on the inside, just remember the album is 3 by 4. So I just made this embellishment 3 inches across, and we're going to make it a pocket. So I have rounded that corner so it would fit with our stuff, but so I made the pocket 1 1/2 by 3. And I'm just going to put glue on the outside of this pocket so we can tuck some fun things in there. I'm not sure if I put the bow on the album if it will still go in. So we're going to check. I don't think it will, so, well, maybe it will. Okay, dang it, my bow won't fit. It makes it too bulky for here. I had a little bit of a panic attack because the bow I wanted was going to be too big. And it makes it look so cute, but it won't fit into my thing. Oh, calm down, it's okay. Somehow we will figure out a bow. Yeah, there's a smaller bow. I think we will use that. That's so funny, I can't believe. I like bows so much that I had a mini, like, heart attack there. Okay, that will fit. Yeah, that fits better. Oh, I think that'll be cute. Oh, I'm still laughing that it kind of threw me for a loop when I couldn't get my bow on. My bows were too big. Okay, yeah, there we go. There we go. Now, I'm going to do our last step. I always like to go in and add a little bit of bling. I get a lot of my bling from the dollar store. I mean, I'm surprised. Look how cute all that is. And this is just $1.25. So yeah, I think anytime you can go back and add a little bit of bling, it's good. Now that was weird. I don't know if you can tell, but my main lights went off. We moved into this house last year and it has like a lot of funny quirks. So I do have my overhead lights, but if it just seemed to get darker, it did. But hopefully we can finish up this video. And you could go crazy. You could go through and add bling on every single page. We'll just add a few little extras. A few little extras. I don't want to cover that up because I think that button is so cute. So we'll add maybe a purple right there. Yeah, it's hard to even cover up some of the Nitwit collection things because everything is so dang cute. Like, they make their buttons just so cute. So I'm not sure how much more. Oh, we're going to add 2 right here. Give it a little bit of dimension right there. And then we will do our flip through. Anything else? Now, I could add dimension onto those, but I think the colors are just so cute. I kind of don't even want to cover it up. Okay, we're going to call it good. So let's do a quick walkthrough. So there is our cute little container. Once again, if you use double-sided cardstock, it wouldn't be just white inside. So that's a thought. But let's take a look at our album. Enjoy the hunt. Look at that popped up, the dimension there. And then look how cute this is. That on the spine of our little mini album. You are somebody special. So we've got page 1 and we've got, you know, some tuck spots here. So you could cut out more embellishments or put a little cute note down in there. Got a bow, an Easter, a popped up butterfly, and then another tuck spot here. Cute bunny, some hearts and flowers, eggs specially cute. Now this is also a tuck spot right there, so whatever you want to put down there. Another little pocket. I think that's a pocket, or did I glue it down? Oh, I accidentally put glue all over there. So that is not a pocket. It's supposed to be. But some cute carrots, carrot patch, little chick poking out of the Easter egg, another butterfly. Now that's one that you could tuck something in. And our little bunny. And then on the back, I just added some simple buttons. But what do you think? Oh my goodness. totally adorable. I loved using this Egg-stra Special collection from Nitwits. So I hope this tutorial was easy for you. Don't hesitate asking me any questions if you got confused on anything. I'm happy to help you in any way that I can. But that was from start to finish our little Egg-stra Special mini album with its cute little holder. So there you go. Thank you so much for joining me today. Remember that I do have that Facebook group, Smile by Holly, where if you make this or if you're just having fun crafting, go in and post and show us what you're making today. I would love to have you join. Anyway, thank you so much for being here today. If you liked the video, give me a big thumbs up. I would also love to have you subscribe to my channel. So, happy day, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Goodbye, everybody.